Welcome to the Travel Agent Podcast. I'm your host, Aylin Blanco. I interview successful industry professionals and share my personal journey to becoming a travel agent. The show is for aspiring travel agents and travel professionals at every level. My mission is to uncover the universal keys to thrive in this business. Join me as I take a closer look into the life of a travel agent. Thank you for tuning in to the Travel Agent Podcast. Today, we are having an amazing guest. She's been in the industry a while and has so much information to give us today. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, good morning. My name is Jessica Griscavage, and I work at McCabe World Travel, which is a virtuoso agency, and I have been with this agency and in the industry, I should say, for 15 years.
Awesome. So, 15 years. How did you become a travel agent?
Yeah, old-fashioned way. I actually faxed in a resume, so I'm going back a little bit old school. But my prior position, I did sales and marketing for a large shopping center, and I really enjoyed the marketing part of it and the customer service and the sales. But I thought I wanted to transition over to more of a sales position, and I thought, well, if I'm going to sell, it should be something that I love and that I'm passionate about. So kind of more of an old school way to jump into the industry, but it worked. And here I am.
Definitely. So being in the industry 15 years, a lot of things changed. Mm-hmm. So what is one of the things that you wish you kind of would have known then or known as you transitioned and grew in the industry?
It's a great question. And it's hard to answer because everything changes and evolves every day. So when I started, I had a flip phone. It was a different time, and technology has changed so much in the 15 years. And very quickly I got a BlackBerry, and then it kind of evolved from there. So in a sense, the technology,
flashback.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I miss the feeling of punching those BlackBerry buttons. I did love it. But, as, I grew in, the time that I came in, 15 years ago, that technology's really changed. The one thing, I would say, you learn to embrace it. With that said, we're a total, kind of mobile global community, right now. And, I'm on all the time, where when I started, I left work and I was off work. So that's really changed. So learning to adjust to that, to set boundaries, that's something I've had to learn over the years.
Nice. So in setting boundaries and having to kind of navigate through the changes, what is something that you kind of just absolutely bombed and recovered well?
I mean, the worst is when something happens at night or on the weekends. I mean, and there's, sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it because we can't be on 24/7. So, if there's a missed flight in Australia, and clients will still call me and leave me a voicemail, but I'm like, it's already happened 2 days ago and I'm just getting this now. There are always travel emergencies. So some of those have happened. So what I've learned is just really make sure that the supplier has their cell phone number, that your clients have all of the emergency contacts. And I really ingrain it before they depart now. Here's who you need to call. You can call me during business hours, but if something happens on local time, here's the first person that you should call. And that really ingraining that in, their documents, telling them before they go has saved a lot of problems.
Nice. So what you're kind of saying is that you train your customers, your clients now. So it helps with boundaries. Great.
Exactly. Yeah. And then that's changed too, years ago. And gosh, I don't want to sound like this was all that long ago, but some of the older community didn't have cell phones. Well, they all have smartphones now. They may not have, 10 years ago. So now they're more comfortable calling international. You don't necessarily need a huge international plan. I mean, it's just, WhatsApp and, all these other, Google Hangouts. It's made communication a lot easier. So technology has helped in that sense. But yes, I mean, I more so than ever really make sure they know who local contacts are, because that's going to save you a whole lot of trouble, because unfortunately not everything goes perfectly.
So kind of expounding on technology, what are some of the systems or the ways that you keep organized your business and your clients?
Yeah, so our agency, we use client base, which is great. Absolutely love it. I mean, are there some things I'd like to improve with it, with time? Yes. But, overall, it keeps my invoicing in line. And also, I set reminders through client base, VIP, final payment, that type of thing. I also use UMAP. I know there's Access out there too. We're just a UMAP agency. And that's been really helpful. And I've learned to really start the itinerary in the UMAP right away. And that's how you find out, was there a mistake? Did I book the hotel the wrong day? Wait, they don't have a transfer this day. And then I kind of now have really made it a part of, the process with the client. Here's your working itinerary. What more can I do for you? So one, that's a chance to upsell, touring and transfers and make additions. But two, it keeps them engaged and like, oh, you know what? I want a dinner reservation this day or whatnot. So that's really helped organize and also make sure there's no holes in the trip.
Nice. So client base and UMAP are two things that you basically, that's your go-to.
Those are my go-to. Mm-hmm.
So
for sure.
15 years, like I keep going back to that because that is, most people are moving every 5 years. So like that's,
I
know. So tell me, like, what are some of the most important things that you have gained from working in this industry?
Well, one, customer service, that never changes. And that's, kind of first and foremost. And, you have to be engaging. And even though technology's changed, you're going to learn what clients want to be texted and what clients want, phone calls and, what clients want emails. I mean, you have to learn that. But as long as you're still giving that same customer service, I think that's really important. I think my generation too, I've learned how to talk to millennials, but also baby boomers. And that's something else that's really important. Some people still need to be called Mr. and Mrs. or General or Doctor. And you just have to kind of stay on top of kind of old school customer service. Because people expect that because they can go anywhere else. And you just really need to be engaged and really maintain a personal and professional relationship with your client.
That's great advice. Customer service is huge, especially in this business. So you have a ton of experience and you're doing amazing things right now. What are you most excited about in your career?
I love to do everything. Yeah, but I would say mostly, sell the world. We do it all. But I really do have a focus in family travel. And, that's something that's near and dear to me. I've been lucky enough to be an A-list with Travel and Leisure under the family travel category. And that's just something I kind of jumped in. I started with young families, but then when I had my own son, it's just something I really embraced. I made a decision to not stop traveling. I kept traveling when I had him. And, I kind of just learned, kind of tricks and what's important. And, so family travel is really important to me. And then kind of with that comes multi-generation. Not only do I love it, but, it's very financially, beneficial as well. But,
right.
There is something to be said about putting a special, 50th wedding anniversary trip or something special to grandparents who want to give this, to their kids and grandkids. And, it's a fun feel good, trip to book.
Nice. So if you could give one piece of information to someone considering or just starting their travel business, what would that be?
I would say focus first on what you're interested in and what your passion is. That might be, yoga retreats. That might be, adventure travel. It might be family travel. It might be cruising. Start with that because, everything's going to grow from there because not everybody does the same type of trip. My same person who will go to Atlantis might go on an African safari. So of course you want to learn as much as you can, but I would say start on, what you're good at. For me, I was in my 20s when I started. So I really started with honeymooners because all my friends were getting married. So that made sense, let me start with this. And then they kind of came, evolved into kind of a beach Caribbean destination. And then, it evolved to Europe and, around the world, over the years. But, kind of starting on that focus really helped.
That is amazing advice. I wish I would have known that in my first year when I tried to do that.
I mean, you do try to do it all, and you can, and you will, and you should. I mean, unless there's something you absolutely don't want to do. I mean, and there's some, we all have just like parts of the world that we're like, I can't do this. I'm not comfortable with this. But just kind of starting on a focus, and it was just an easy. I was in my late 20s, and everybody was getting married, so it just made sense. And everybody at that time wanted to kind of have a beach destination. Now it's people are getting older a little bit. Married a little bit older, and now it's a little bit more exotic and kind of bucket list trips. But at the time, having that focus really helps, and it totally grew my business, which turned into family travel. They started to have the baby moons, and then the babies, and now the family trips. So it's really helped evolve my clientele.
Nice. So where can my audience find you?
Good question. Well, I'm on Facebook. I'm Jessica. I'm going to have to spell this, Chiricati Griscavage. It's my maiden name and my married name. And then my Instagram is @JessTravels. That's a lot easier to find.
Awesome. And all of her information will be in her blog post, so you can definitely reach her. Well, you have given
please do.
us so much great information. I'm just so grateful that you chose to come on the show today. And if you don't mind, I would love to follow up with you in a couple months and just kind of see where your business is taking you.
I'd love to. It's been a fun journey, a crazy journey. It's not always amazing. We all have our down days, but it's been fun, and I've really enjoyed these years.
Well, I hope to, in 14 years from now, be able to have a conversation with someone and say, yes, I was in an industry I love. It is really inspirational to see someone who started something that they loved and they have been able to continue and be successful in it. So, thank you for being an inspiration.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for joining the Travel Agent Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Visit thetravelagentpodcast.com for more information about today's episode and other travel agent resources. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for new episodes. Until next time, continue to build a travel business you love.